What's up, man? Um, I want to talk about Earl Spence and his potential, and has he reached his peak? Now, it's a lot of people say that Earl Spence has not shown all of what he has as far as his fighting style, I guess. I mean, as far as what he can do in the ring, that he has more to show. Now, I remember 3, 4, 5 years ago when Adrian Broner came out, and me and some of the fellows, we were doing assessments on Adrian Broner and his fighting style, and a lot of us concluded that, I know I did, that Adrian Broner was flat-footed and he was limited as far as what he can do. Now, Adrian Broner was a good technical fighter, but he was better when you stood right in front of him. That's when Adrian Broner was at his most dangerous, is when you stood in front of him. And I kept saying, I said, when Adrian Broner fights somebody like a Keith Thurman or somebody like a Sean Porter that can move, pretty decent in the ring, give you different angles, that Adrian Broner, he's going to struggle. Now, it ended up being true versus Sean Porter because he fought Sean Porter and Sean Porter beat him. He never fought Keith Thurman, but it ended up being true. And, I remember before he fought Sean Porter and, Adrian Broner was having all his success, people kept on telling me that Adrian Broner had more to show. Don't worry, he's only showing y'all, hey, when he was in the amateurs, he used to do this. They say in sparring, he fights on his toes. He can get on his toes and box. He's not as flat-footed. But I never seen it. And this is my thing about when you're fighting or anything you do. You don't hold back. If you're a dominant fighter, you don't hold back what you can do to dominate the other guy or to, make yourself more successful. You don't leave half of your tools at home when you're a boxer and only bring half of them in the ring and say, okay, I'm only going to use half on this guy or I'm going to use half on that guy. No, your fighting style is your fighting style. And Earl Spence, do I agree that Earl Spence has a lot more to show? No, I don't agree that he has a lot more to show. He doesn't have a lot more to show. That's just news. I'm gonna put the news flash out there. He is what he is at this point. The man is 28 years old. Now he'll be 30. He'll be 29 in March. He's 28. He'll be 29. He's 28. He'll be 29 in March. He's been fighting for a little while now. Remember, he went to the Olympics a couple times. So he's been fighting way beyond his professional career. His fighting style is what it's going to be. Now he can tweak things here and there. He can become more consistent at what he does. Try to fight at his peak. You know what I'm saying? At a more consistent basis. But he doesn't have a whole lot that he has not shown. It's not even possible. The fact of the matter is, he's a pressure fighter. He's an excellent body puncher. He can cut off the ring so far on the guys he fought. And he has a decent jab. But do I agree that he has a lot more other than that to show? No, I don't. A lot of people throwing this stuff out there, man, because everybody everybody know the matchup that we want to see. We want to see Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, right? So every time I hear people talk about Errol Spence fighting Terrence Crawford, they always say something about they always bring up his size. Oh, he's too big, he's too strong for Terrence Crawford. I never hear anyone talk about Errol Spence's skills. Skillfully how he's going to beat Terrence Crawford. Because I can tell you this right now. He's not too big, not too strong for Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is stronger than what you think. Terrence Crawford has the skills to neutralize Errol Spence's size and just turn it into that. Just him just being a bigger guy. See, that's what boxing does. Now, I'm going to tell you when size plays a factor. If you was moving up 2 weight classes, fighting a guy that's just as skillful as you, his size will be a huge factor because you're not that much superior. You're not superior over him skill wise. Y'all skills are about the same level. Now what comes into play is size come into play at that point. When I look at Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford is clearly, to me, in my opinion, more skillful than Errol Spence. Now, the things that Errol Spence does, he does them well. Not gonna lie to you. It's not gonna be easy to beat Errol Spence, but it's gonna be easy for Terrence Crawford to prepare to beat Errol Spence because you already know what he's gonna do. He's gonna be right there in your face. Because if Errol Spence tries to box with Terrence Crawford, he's going to get outclassed. He has to put on pressure. He has to come forward and not let Terrence Crawford get a chance to figure him out. Because if he sits there and try to box with Terrence Crawford, that's not going to be a good in his favor. Terrence Crawford, now on the other hand, Errol Spence try to prepare for Terrence Crawford is going to be harder than Terrence Crawford preparing for Errol Spence, simply because Terrence Crawford fights different people different ways. He fights southpaw, he fights orthodox. Now, even when he fights southpaw and orthodox, he fights two different ways when he fights in those manners. And one of those, you know what I'm saying, styles, he's more aggressive than the other style. I'll let y'all figure that out. Just go look at his fights. In another style, he's more of a boxer. He's more of a counterpuncher. So you will have to bring somebody in that mimics Terrence Crawford from the southpaw side and the right-hand side. Not just Terrence Crawford from the southpaw side. You got to bring in both. Terrence Crawford, only have to worry about you cutting off the ring, pressure, going to the body. And Errol Spence has a decent jab. But in the center of the ring, what I keep on telling people, what I see with Errol Spence is, he's not ferocious in the center of the ring. He gets ferocious when he has you on the ropes. When he gets you on the ropes, that's when Errol Spence gets ferocious on you. That's when he can break you down to the body very well, because it's hard to counter somebody off the ropes. Terrence Crawford knows this. He knows he can't go in there and stand in front of Errol Spence because, like Adrian Broner, if you stand in front of Errol Spence, yes, he can eat you up. He can put a lot of punishment and a lot of damage on you. If you move around, give him angles like a Sean Porter did, you can neutralize, then you can beat him. A lot of people say, well, how can you break it down that Terrence Crawford's going to beat Errol Spence? Now, I'm going to break it down for you. It's my opinion. And doesn't mean this is what is going to, it doesn't mean that Terrence Crawford going to win the fight hands down. When they get in the ring, that's the truth teller. But I'm going to give you my breakdown on how Terrence Crawford can beat Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford, in order to beat Errol Spence, keep the fight. The main thing is keep the fight in the center of the ring. Use your jab. Now, Errol Spence loves to go to the body, but Errol Spence don't go to the body that much when he's in the center of the ring. He will try to touch you to the body. He will touch you to the body. But all Terrence Crawford got to do to neutralize that is, so Errol Spence won't try to go to his body as much, counter Errol Spence when he goes to your body. This is the well-kept secret in boxing. The reason why a lot of guys don't go to the body is because they are afraid to get countered going to your body. That's why a lot of guys do not throw body shots, because if you fighting a guy that can counter you very well, especially when you're trying to go to somebody's body, the uppercut is there, the little short right hand is there. You got an array of punches that you can throw if you have the skills to throw that punch. Terrence Crawford has the skills to counter Errol Spence when he goes to his body. So if he's successful in countering Errol Spence, that will make Errol Spence hesitate going to the body. Now, if Errol Spence bag him up to the ropes, guess what? You hold him, the referee comes in, break y'all up. It's like a clinch. It's not like a grab. You don't grab, but you throw a little punch, throw some punches out there. You hold them, have the referee break y'all up, and then you start back in the center of the ring. It's not hard. Look, Terrence Crawford already knows what he needs to do to defeat Errol Spence. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but he knows what he has to do. Errol Spence doesn't. I'm gonna say this. He does not have the clear picture of how, to me, that he's going to be able to beat Terrence Crawford, because of I told you, Terrence Crawford has different. He fights people. He fights all these fighters different. Go look when he fought. First of all, go look at when he fought Gamboa. He was more of a puncher, a boxer puncher, trying to, get Gamboa out of there. Now, Gamboa was successful in the first 5 rounds. Gamboa speed, because Gamboa got speed. He has crazy speed, really good reflexes. It threw Terrence Crawford out until Terrence Crawford turned southpaw, and then he started having success. That's what I mean about making an adjustment. He made an adjustment, then he started getting the knockdowns. Go see when he fought Victor Postal. He was a pure boxer in that fight. He used the ring. He didn't run. He used the ring. He boxed. He started getting knockdowns because he frustrated Victor Postal. And he boxed Victor Postal. When he fought Hank Lundy, he was trying to get Hank Lundy out of there, so he was a little bit more front foot happy. And that's when you get hit a lot, when you're front foot happy. That's why I say about Errol Spence. Yes, the reason why Errol Spence get hit a lot is because he put a lot of his weight on his front foot, and it's hard to get out of the way of punches, especially when you're trying to get somebody else out of there. When you're trying to knock somebody else out, you leave yourself open to possibly get knocked out, and you leave yourself open to get hit by a lot of punches. Go look at when Terrence Crawford fought Delorme. He was more of a boxer against Delorme in the first half of the fight until he broke him down. Even go see when he fought Benavidez. He was a boxer puncher against Benavidez, and from the southpaw stance. See, a lot of people are not recognizing that Terrence Crawford has many different ways that he fights. So you never know how he's going to approach, how he's going to fight you. You may not realize until like the 5th or 6th round, and now he has you figured out, and the fight is just about over. Like I said, when Terrence Crawford fight Errol Spence, all he has to do is keep the fight in the center of the ring, use his jab. Errol Spence is going to come at you continuously, so you don't have to find Errol Spence. Errol Spence has to find Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford don't have to find Errol Spence. And then when Errol Spence, if he happen to bag you up, when you feel your back touching the ropes, either turn. If he cut off the ring on you, throw some jabs, throw some combinations, clinch, let the referee break y'all up, bring the fight back to the center of the ring. The key is keeping the fight in the center of the ring as much as you can. Now, people say that Errol Spence is going to, run over Terrence Crawford, maul him or whatever, man. And I say, and you know what I'm saying? They say that Terrence Crawford is too small. He don't have enough punching power to keep Errol Spence off of him. He has plenty of punching power to keep Errol Spence up off of him. To keep Errol Spence honest, where Errol Spence won't come in there reckless. Trust me. And the size factor, if Errol Spence and his team was really worried about him being too small for 147, they would have just stayed at 140 for another year. Or, like I said in one of my previous videos, they would have came into the welterweight division fighting guys that previously came up from the lower weight classes. Like somebody like a Paulie Malignaggi, like somebody like a Zab Judah, like somebody like a Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Guys that came up from, like Jesse Vargas, guys that came up from lower weight classes. He would have been fighting those type of guys to get himself acclimated to 147 and see how he does against those guys. No. He came into the welterweight division fighting Jeff Horn, who I believe Jeff Horn fought at 154 at one point. So Jeff Horn is a big 147 pounder. He stopped him. He fought Jose Benavidez, who started his career at 147, and he even says he's a big 147. He's actually bigger than Errol Spence. He's 6'1". He said he walk around about 180, 185, 190, something like that. So he's actually bigger than Errol Spence, and he stopped him in 12. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, people say, why did it take him that long to stop him? And Jose Benavidez is on one leg and all this stuff. Jose Benavidez won 2 or 3 fights on his comeback since he got shot in the knee, and I believe he stopped a couple of those guys. I don't think he was talking about his knee when he was doing the reason why he lost to Terrence Crawford is just a better fighter, man. If Benavidez would have had both knees, which I'm going to say yes. I mean, he's going to be hampered by that knee for the rest of his life. But he got in the ring. He talked all that stuff in the press conference. He pushed Terrence Crawford. He told Terrence Crawford, I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So, obviously, he didn't see anything wrong with his knee that he was concerned about. He thought, even with his knee like that, I'm good enough to beat Terrence Crawford. That's what he thought. In my opinion, it had nothing to do with it. It had nothing to do as much as with his knee as Terrence Crawford's skill level and what Terrence Crawford was able to do to him. I thought Benavidez did good in the first 3-4 rounds with his jab. He had a nice, fast, stiff jab. He was catching Terrence Crawford with some right hands. I thought Terrence Crawford was a little bit overzealous because the man pushed him in the, he did get in Terrence Crawford's head to a certain degree. Yeah, because when you a man and your manhood is on the line, you want to defend it. And when he threw that punch, a lot of people, now I listened to Barbershop Conversations, and he said that Terrence Crawford was stupid because he had $3 million on the line when Benavidez pushed him. Now, he said he would have not did anything. He would have just waited to the fight, or he would have tried to push Benavidez back. When somebody push you, especially when you weighing in, you've been through training camp all that time, you're already on edge, and then a man push you, you're not worried about the $3 million. You're not worried about the $3 million, man. Right now, your manhood is on the line. You have to defend your manhood. You can't put no price on your manhood, man. I don't care what nobody say. You cannot put a price on your manhood. He threw a punch. He missed. Thank God he missed, because we probably wouldn't have had no fight if he would have connected. But like I said, I disagree with Barbershop because you cannot put a price on your manhood. You have to defend yourself, man. You can't be worried about, I'm going to lose $3 million. If you worried about, if that come through your mind, I don't see how that will even come through your mind when you at that, when somebody make you that, you know what I'm saying, put you on that that level of, okay, it's time for me to defend myself. Oh no, I'm gonna worry about the $3 million. Come on, man. You don't worry about that. You defend your manhood when it's time to defend your manhood. So I'm gonna have to disagree with Barbershop Conversations on that. I thought Terrence Crawford was in the right. He didn't push the guy. He didn't throw the first punch against Benavidez. Yes, they had words, but to me, Terrence Crawford was professional. He was the one that was pushed. So when he get pushed, you can't be mad at how he reacts. Like, if somebody hit me and they don't hit me, you know what I'm saying, they hit me and then I hit them and knock them out, you can't tell me that, oh man, you hit him too hard. Well, he shouldn't have hit me in the first place. So I disagree with that. I'm just a different type of person. I can't let no one challenge my manhood and I don't do anything back. And maybe he didn't have a chance to push him back. He just wanted to try to punch him because he thought that is what he was able to get off, and he probably he tried to hurt Jose Benavidez for pushing him. Just because you push me doesn't mean I have to retaliate with a push. When you push me, I can retaliate however I want to retaliate. It doesn't have to be a push. If I feel like I got to punch you in your mouth, I'm gonna punch you in your mouth. I'm not worried about the $3 million at that point. Period. Point blank. Like I said. But let me get back to what I was talking about. Earl Spence has not. He doesn't have a lot more to show. Now he can put little wrinkles in his game, you know, to introduce some little things in his game, but he is what he is. He's a pressure fighter, and that's what he does best, and that's what Earl Spence is going to continue to do. You're not going to see Earl Spence do anything at this point different because he's been successful. He's been highly successful doing what he is doing. So he's not going to all of a sudden go in a Terrence Crawford fight and show you more than what he's showing you now, like vastly more than what he's showing you now. No, man, that's just people wishful thinking because they know deep down, not even deep down inside, they know that Terrence Crawford is a more skillful fighter. That's why they keep saying Errol Spence has more to show. Like he has more to grow. No, he's about at his peak. He's 28 years old. He's about to be 29 in March, like I said. He's where he is. He is what he is. He's not going to. He doesn't have anything in the tool shed more than what he has right now. Now, what he can do now is he can add some different wrinkles, show different, little things here and there, and even little wrinkles can change a fight and turn a fight from a close fight to a dominant win. That can happen because little wrinkles. I keep on telling people, when you fighting a guy that can move around and ring, it changes the whole complex of the fight. The whole fight changes. Lamont Peterson stood right there in front of Errol Spence. Now, case in point, Lamont Peterson stood right there in front of Errol Spence just about the whole fight. The whole fight, really. And it still took Errol Spence 7 rounds to get him out of there. So, and people keep on calling him this devastating puncher. He's not a devastating puncher. He's a good puncher. He's a guy that works you down, that grinds you down. He's that type of puncher. He's not a Tito Trinidad puncher. Tito Trinidad can, at 147, go look at some of Tito Trinidad's fights at 147. And when he hit guys, how guys react to what Tito Trinidad do to them. Go look at some of his fights. Tito Trinidad was a much devastating body puncher. He was a much devastating head puncher than Errol Spence. Now, Errol Spence is a volume body puncher. You know what I'm saying? People like, even Keith Thurman, like people don't like Keith Thurman, right? But you can't deny that Keith Thurman has just as many stops to the body as Errol Spence, and Keith Thurman does not throw a volume of punches to the body. It's the guy that throw it. It's called punch placement. If you can place your punch the right way, you don't have to throw a whole lot of them. If you find that liver, the guy is going down. You don't have to throw as many punches as Errol Spence throws to the body. It takes him a while to hit that button. He hit Kell Brook with a lot of body shots. He hit Lamont Peterson down to the body. It took him a while still to break Lamont Peterson down. So, no, he's not a devastating puncher. He's a good puncher. So, when people say that he's this, I don't know, man. I know some people talk about him like he's Superman. But when you say go fight Jared Hurd at 154, people say, oh, why y'all trying to move him at 154-pound division? I'm not trying to make him move at the 154-pound division. 147-pound division. Y'all tell me that everybody is scared of him at 147. If everybody's scared of Errol Spence at 147, like everybody say they are, and he can't get no fights with PBC, he can't get no fight with Danny Garcia, he can't get no fight with Sean Porter, he can't get no fight with Keith Thurman, then go to 154 and fight Jared Hurd. Oh, y'all trying to push him out? No. Because Sugar Ray Leonard, in the prime of his career of fighting at 147, he went up to 154 and won the belt at 154. And then he came back down and he fought Thomas Hearns and became undisputed welterweight champion. So you could do two. You could do both weights because Errol Spence could make 147. Clearly, we see that he can make 147, and he's still strong when he comes into the fight. He's not struggling. He's not tiring out. And y'all keep telling me he's a big 147 pounder. That means he can go to 154 with no problem and fight somebody like a Jared Hurd. I know, I know. Errol Spence cannot beat Jared Hurd. He's not gonna beat Jared Hurd fighting like that. This is what I keep saying about Errol Spence. I think he's going to be dominant. I mean, I think the guys that I know he can beat at 147. I don't think he can beat Terrence Crawford. I think a healthy, active Keith Thurman can beat him as well. But I don't think Errol Spence can be dominant at 160. Like if he go up there and fight Canelo, Canelo gonna beat Errol Spence. He cannot think that he's gonna bully you know what I'm saying, a person like Canelo. Canelo been in the ring with everybody. Canelo seen every style. Canelo been in fight in fights with way better fighters than Errol Spence. So, and they're both 28 years old. But I would like to see the fight though. If he go up to 160 and fight Canelo, there's a lot of people saying he gonna beat. No, man, he's not gonna beat Canelo. Canelo has already been in the ring to me with the toughest pressure fighter of this era, which is Golovkin when Golovkin wants to pressure you. Golovkin hits harder than Errol Spence. He's been 24 rounds with Golovkin. And you think Errol Spence is going to go to 160 and dominate Canelo? No, it's not going to happen. But like I said, I just want to put my thoughts out there, man, and put my thoughts out there on how I see Terrence Crawford beating Errol Spence. Like it's not going to be easy, but it's easier to game plan to fight Errol Spence than it's easy to fight Terrence Crawford. I'm just gonna put it out there. But I'm out, y'all. Peace.